This is my Computer Games Design Studio 2 submission video part 2. Before I begin, I'm just going to say that the game runs on 4.9.2. During mid-match, however, I had a corruption on my memory stick, so I lost a lot of my work, meaning I had to start from the last submission. Without further ado, let's begin. This gameplay video is of Super Smash TV, one of the games that I used during my research. So as a recap for this module, I wanted to go for a twin-stick shooter which includes keyboard controls. Super Smash TV is my number one inspiration for making my game. So as you can see, when the player kills the enemy, they gain a score from each kill. The player can collect power-ups to increase the player's damage. Once the enemies have been killed off, they can then proceed in going in 4 other directions to go to different parts of the map. Super Smash TV was always one of my favourite games. So I'll start with my intention for a Smart Cup. If we start all the way back at the concept map, my original idea was going to be based on a mansion where enemies drop down and you kill them. You will also have pickups that you can use in game to kill the enemies. As you can probably tell, I decided to change the whole mansion idea and go down the sci-fi route. I had built up the map and tried playtesting it, but the 2-level mansion didn't work too well as a top-down. When I went onto the second level, enemies would stick on the ground level, as well as it's confusing to see things on the map. After researching, I changed my idea to what I have now, a small interior inspired from Unreal Tournament 1999. There was a small space with lots of awesome guns and people spawning. They were very competitive and annoying at times, especially the spawn killing. But moving on, I think my intention of the map is pretty much exactly what I pictured in my head, and it came out quite well. It's small, but enough room to move around. Analysing a lot of the pickup ideas from Super Smash TV, my design intention, I got most of the stuff I wanted: the pickup, score, enemy spawning. The only thing that's missing would be moving to other maps, which would have been a later addition. I see the map improve a lot over the course to look a lot better, with nice use of lighting as well as general clutter, which just removes that emptiness it had from the beginning. The product itself has evolved a fair amount from last submission, and before that, adding in damage modifiers as well as other aesthetic things to improve the look of the map. Main thing being the particle system. I'm really impressed with how they come out. I wasn't expecting them to look as good as I had intended them to be, which I'm happy about. The main reason for adding particle effects is basically because they look so good if they're done well. I saw it immediately as soon as I made one improvement on how much it evolved. Then it was just a case of working out what to do with the particle effects, which consisted of adding damage modifiers and healing pots, both awesome things that make the game more entertaining. Another thing I really enjoyed that involved was the main character. It was a minor change, but the material just made him look so much better than what I had at the beginning. I regret not being able to reach my intention of hopefully adding personal characters, but I felt I didn't do a bad job with the material to make it more unique to the other enemies in game. Lastly, the music came out a lot better than my original idea. As I wasn't sure what type of music would be available and copyright free, I managed to find some really cool music that I even managed to code in so it would play random songs instead of the same song on that map. A really cool outcome I felt. I'm just going to finish on gameplay feedback. I'm grateful for all the people who tested my game and gave me some amazing suggestions to improve my game. I still feel without them, my game wouldn't be as good as it looks now. They gave me some top-notch ideas that I hadn't thought about. For example, the robots in the glass jars or some pickup ideas. Sadly, 2 of them didn't work. I would have loved to get in the slow motion one, but due to me running my game on 4.9.2, it stopped me from being able to link the stop time to not affect the players due to it not having a target on the node. So that was a bit disappointing, but overall, I feel my second original idea, the outcome, has come pretty close to what I wanted. Again, I'd have liked to add weapons to the game and my own characters, but that could be a future thing to add. Here are some of my assets I have modelled and textured to begin the construction of the level. I tried to create realistic, sci-fi looking textures but low poly models, as I plan to reuse a lot of them around the level. Assets such as the floor section here is modular, so when it comes to creating the level, the pieces will fit nicely together. So for the general look of the map, I want the level to be dark with sci-fi base look that the player will enjoy. I aim to use various lighting and emissive maps to bring the colours out in the certain objects. I've added a fair amount of new objects to the scene since the last submission, which you will be able to see right now. Damage sphere. I wanted to have it so when the enemy collides with the damage sphere, the enemy takes damage and not the player. Here I needed to add a tag onto the player character so if he touches the shield it doesn't hurt him. By adding a tag, It asks to see if the object has the friendly tag or not. If it doesn't have the friendly tag, then the pawn will take damage after the character's health has fully dropped. It destroys the enemy. I also changed the collision on the sphere to custom and had pawn as overlap, as this fixed the issue with not being able to fire through it. Damage shield spawner. I did have an issue with getting this to work, as I couldn't work out how to get it so the sphere is attached to the player character. This was fixed by when the player overlaps with the present, it casts to the hero character spawning the active damage shield, which will get the spawn location of the hero character. I simply had to attach actor to actor, so when the spawner is run over, it casts to the damage shield blueprint and spawns it attaching to the player character. This was what I wanted, as before it was spawning in the middle of the map and not attached to the player actor. I then wanted to work out how to make it get destroyed once a certain amount of time was up. The reason I wanted this is because the sphere was always stuck to the player, which meant it was overpowered pickup. I fixed this by creating a custom event on Shield Damager Blueprint, then having it have a delay of a set amount of seconds, in this case 30, which is then sent to the destroy actor. Then returning back to the damage shield pickup blueprint, I just had to make a reference to that alive blueprint from the damage and plug it in between the spawn actor and the attach. At one point, I had an issue with my lift as well, where enemies were under the lift when it went down, causing the player to shoot off in a random direction. This wasn't good, as sometimes the player would get stuck. I managed to work a way around this by simply adding a box collision under the lift, then using similar blueprint as a damage sphere, but instead having a sequence and it casting to each enemy in the game. I then altered the damage it would take. This then caused them to die when they touched that lift. Problem solved, but not quite, as I fell under another problem with it, a minor one where the collision box didn't follow the lift. This was an easy solution, which was a case of shoving the box into the parent of the lift. Following on the lift, as I thought all the issues were solved, I fell into another one. This time, the issue being that occasionally the player can fall off the elevator, which means there's no chance of reaching the top to get the pickups. This was easily solved by adding an event tick which had a delay on it. This was then sent into the reverse timeline, so every 20 seconds it will always send the lift back down. This seemed to work quite nicely. Enemy spawn. I decided that I wanted to add more enemies to my spawn that I had, plus wanted to add a randomizer in it, so a certain percentage chance of certain enemies would spawn. I managed to do this by on a branch, adding a switch integer and adding a random integer in the range of 1 to 6. I then added 6 pins to the switch on integer and linked them up to each of the enemy that was being spawned. 3 in 6 chance of red being spawned, 2 in 6 being green, and 1 in 6 being blue. This helped make the game more entertaining, as I had previously added larger scores onto them and more health. So I had an issue with trying to make the present spawn at a certain place after a certain time. I managed to find a solution to this by using target points, which meant going into the level blueprint. On event begin play, because I already had it used for something else, I had to use sequence, which enables me to use it more than once. I then went about by plugging up the spawn actor, which was the pickup. I then got a reference to the package, which is the target point, linked it off to get the actor location, then automatically changing transform into vector by dragging the return value of get actor location to spawn transform. This would make it spawn at that target point, but because I wanted to go that extra bit to have it on a timer, I had to shove a delay. So on the left node of the spawn actor, I plugged that into complete of delay, and the other side into the left side of delay. I then altered the timer to what I wanted, then after 40 seconds the object always respawned exactly what I wanted. Music randomizer. So I had my music in my game, but I felt it would be really cool if I went ahead with having different songs that played in the map. After looking around, I managed to work it out by converting one of the WAV files into a queue. I then opened it up in Blueprints. I placed in all the songs I wanted and linked them up to a randomizer where I created 4 pins for. Once they were plugged up to the random, I then linked that to the modulator, then back to looping. Then from looping output back to output. I then placed the sound back into the map, and the 4 songs would randomly play. This was something I certainly wanted to add to my game to improve the immersion and make it so the users don't get bored with my music. So for the last minute, I'm just going to show off my game.